Hey guys, and welcome to another multiplayer game. I'm going to be watching a game I played against Dogao, and really there's no reason to be matchmaking with Dogao. He is clearly significantly better than I am, but that's what the matchmaking system does when there's so few players and it's just getting started. So we'll take a look. He's playing the Cumans, and mostly I just want to watch this back to see what he does with the Cumans and how he takes advantage of their two town centers. So this is Scandinavia, and I picked the Mongols just because I didn't want to pick the Cumans every game. So I picked Mongols because you start out with 3 boar and this huge deer patch, and you don't get berries, so Mongols have a pretty good advantage here with their hunt. But then Cumans, of course, get the advantage because they are the Cumans, and often you do want to go for a dock, and I'm kind of interested in how he will manage the second TC and the dock. So, I mean, if you can get 2 TCs and a dock going, you're going to be in a pretty good position. And this doesn't seem to be an updated version of Scandinavia. So generally, this map has these really big forests, and Dogao's going to ask me about graphics cards for a DE. But yeah, basically, you have like these huge forests that stretch basically across the entire map with only small choke points. And more recent versions have kind of toned this down a bit and made it, more reasonable so you can actually access people's bases. But you can have maps like Dogao where you are just like with a few pieces of wall, you are completely safe. And then you can have other maps like instead of a forest, you might have a patch of ice, so you can't really get through the ice patches as well. And so with the Mongols, but as my strategy here was to look to try to be aggressive with them and try to go, just do something to him so he doesn't get a free boom on 2 TCs. And what I do note, I don't know if I'd scouted him yet, but I have. But no, it's his scouting. Oops. Yeah, so the thing I will note is that he has 2 stones and a gold right here. So I'm thinking if I can get a tower up here, I can push in and take out that lumber camp there and at least do some economic damage to him. But it's really hard to, actually trush a Cuman player because they can just build a TC and towers can't really deal with TCs. I guess the downside of building the town center is that you spend 100 stone on it, so you only have 100 stone left from your starting 200, and you don't have the 125 stone you need to end up building a counter tower. So you might have to go for a market or something. Anyway, this interesting is, so 5 on wood, and he's going for a dock. And I kind of skipped the dock at the beginning because I wanted to go like a really high pressure on him. And I mean, I guess if you're going for a dock, towers really aren't even that effective because you can't hit the fishing ships. I need this villager to gather from the boar. Yeah, so he's just doing the standard dock and 2 fishing ships with 5 on wood. And I guess the more I think about this is probably a rather strong build because you can basically do a normal 22 pop scouts build with your lumber camp and a dock in place of the mill. And then if you're adding fishing ships instead of farms to keep TCs running, I'm not quite sure how that wood balances out. But this might actually be a really strong way to play with the Cumans. And I could imagine that on these mixed these mixed land water maps, having the ability to go for the dock and the 2 TCs. So I mean, if you have 2 TCs, you're not going to get landed. So it's basically, you might lose your fish on the water. But if you have like a safe back dock or somewhere on Scandinavia where your opponent can't reasonably get fire ships unless they go for a YOLO forward dock, this might be a good strategy. And we'll see if he struggles with that boar or not. If he is used to... Yeah, it looks like he shot it twice. Didn't do the try to shoot it once and switch villager trick. Looks like he is trying to stop himself from getting housed right there. Trying to organize both getting the TC and the fishing ships running at the same time. That can be somewhat confusing if you're not prepared for it. Or somewhat difficult because you don't have that necessary you don't necessarily have the same rhythm when you need to make the stuff from 2 buildings. But here we go. Got a nice trap of his scout on my lumber camp with those villagers. He just kind of ran there and looked like he was chasing a villager, then tried to run up the hill to the lumber camp and kind of lost control of it for a second. And here I am. I see that villager doesn't have loom and that she's trying to wall, so I'll just use my scout there to try to do a bit of harassment. I'd love to be able to keep that open because Cubans have extra HP on their palisade walls. And now I'm up to feudal, and I'm sending my villagers. Would have been nice if I had been able to get them forward earlier. Yeah, so I decided to tower on that hill. If I had my villagers forward now, I actually could have walked them in. So those times when the being up at 9 minutes still actually isn't fast enough. So now I have this stable that I built forward. And would have been nice if I had the villagers forward at the time to put the stable up here before getting the tower on the hill. Or even just to get inside of the base, maybe pick another villager to build the stable at home and move the tower villagers forward. There's one thing that could have been nice. I could have tried to do like a quick gate and a house and then get the tower here. So if I can force him to build a counter tower, which he still can't do because he's in the Dark Age and going up on a 28 population, clicking up to the Feudal Age. So he's going slightly late and he's going on to gold. And I guess he'll be looking to build a second TC. Yeah, that tower would have been a lot better if it had come in earlier. The problem is now, though, it's going to be difficult to break in through those palisade walls. He can just keep walling behind. And it's going to be difficult to break in with all the extra HP. So now I'm sending more villagers forward. And the plan is to mine the stone that's forward there and continue building towers and try to sneak in with my scouts. But he's now fully walled. And let's see, what does my wood count look like? Yeah, and I don't really have much wood now at this point because I went on such a low eco approach. And he's building his town center over here. And I don't know if there's a way to stop Cuman players from building this town center. I mean, maybe I have these forward villagers that could scout it earlier and go for it, try to just tower the town center. And as long as I get some walls up so he can't just rush me down with villagers, maybe I could tower the town center and stop it from going up. But even then, that's going to be difficult, especially when you build it with so many villagers. So now, about 12:45, he has 2 town centers. And I'm trying to break in through those palisade walls, but they're so strong. And see, these relics on the ice patches are pretty cool. Really hard to access, but it's fun to see them floating out there. Yeah, I'm going to send a villager up here because I want to dock and try to attack his fishing ships. It's the same thing. I wish I could have just done some of this a bit faster than I did it. As it just comes down to making that plan faster. And now the thing is, he's walled so close to his town center, I can't really get in there anymore. I can disrupt this part of the wood line, but he already has a TC up over here and a second lumber camp there. Now this is something I probably should have scouted, because I could tower this and force him back from there. But then these wood lines are so thick, I don't think a tower here really stops it. Or he could really just come back here even. And he's going to have wood no matter how much I tower. And he's going to have gold no matter what I do, because it's safe from the TC. So I really don't know what else I could have done to try and attack this. He has up another dock for lots of fishing ships, and I'm going to try to disrupt that. But even still, it's going to be hard to disrupt with getting the fires out. Well, when he can get fires out from 2 docks. And he's moving out there with the lumber camp. He's moved off of this lumber camp here. And he's done a great job of walling behind his gates to keep them alive. And, okay, yeah, so the other games I casted, I had the grid mod. So I casted them last night, and I went to bed, and I woke up this morning, and the grid mod no longer works. And Zetnus is looking into it right now, but it's just kind of... it's disappointing that a mod will just randomly stop working overnight, and that the mod system doesn't seem to let people download mods easily right now. I had to click small trees like 20 times before it actually downloaded. Anyway, finally getting that dock up. I think I had accidentally hotkeyed my villager in another group and sent him back instead of building the dock. And where is that villager going? Hopefully he doesn't notice my vill. No. Just... going out... Oh, going to build a dock out there on that ice. Good luck good luck reaching that ice out there. I don't think you can quite make it. How did he even scout that? Alright, so that dock is not going up. That bear won't win. But so now I'm coming in with my scouts on the side, trying to build another tower on this lumber camp. Disrupt that a little. And the thing is, he has a market up by now, so he can make a defensive tower, which he's going to do. If we look at there's stats if I don't click on anything. Villager count. He has 53 villagers right now to my 35. That is an insane villager lead. But the thing is, if you look at the score, which I can't look at the score. Why can't I look at the score? Do I literally need to go back to this tab to look at the score? Okay. I have the score lead. He has 53 villagers, but I have the score lead. So, like, the weird thing is when you're playing with Cumans or against them, that your economy lead does not yet show up in the score, because then at this point you're still running at 0 resources. And yeah, I can't really like fight under his tower because the TC's there to protect it. So he can rush me forward and keep this garrisoned and force me back. Now I have quite a few scouts and I don't know what to do with them, and I know that he's really far ahead, so I'm trying to get some fires out to harass his fish, but he can outproduce me with the fire ships from all of his docks, and he's even going to now dock my side, which I finally docked to get fishing ships out. But and see, now there's just like no way to attack him because of how big this woodline is over here. And he has the TC here and basically can just wall up over and over here on the front of his base. So he doesn't even need stone walls to protect himself. He just add in the sable he'll go for some step lancers. It's just, oh, that villager difference. I mean, I get that it probably counts the fishing ships, but man. And we're almost going to get through there. I see that he doesn't have any farms or anything around that town center, so I'd be able to run through it, but he's a good player. He knows that he needs to not just wall to the TC, but actually through the TC. And yeah, there you go, so I can't. If I could have gotten scouts into that woodline, maybe I could have done some damage, but he knows not to let that happen. So the only opening is through that town center. I was kind of thinking, I put archery ranges here because I wanted to transport around, but I wasn't fast enough for the dock, and he got the fire ships out there to prevent that. So no transport ships for me. The spearmen back, don't die with the TC. There we go. And now I'm trying to build another tower to attack this woodline, but he'll get a defensive tower because he has a market now and he can do stone, and he's up to the castle age. Just showing off the strength of the Cumans. Those villagers need to, Why are they chopping wood after... Oh, I know what happened. I tried to use Alt-right-click to garrison them in the tower, but because there is a tree behind the tower, they went to chop the tree instead of getting in the tower. Oh, that was a bug that was fixed in the user patch, and now it's here. Ah, rip. Because you can't even see the tree outline behind the tower? Because I guess tree outlines don't show up behind buildings anymore? I think they used to. I'll have to check that. So I tried to run my scouts under his TC, but that gold mine is still in range to be protected by the TC, and especially with that tower. So now I have a useless scout in his base, and he's up to the castle age, and his Cuman bonus is finally now kicking in. Now that he's up to the castle age, you'll see it instantly just jump up and score past me, especially since he killed my water stuff too. And that's pretty much it. Now he's just gonna make some step lancers. Bloodlines, husbandry. Oh man, that bug is something that needs to be fixed again. So yeah, there's that tree right there, which you can now see because the tower's collapsed. Yeah, so I guess thinking back on this strategy, the one thing I noted is that these villagers needed to be forward a lot sooner than they were. And I could probably build the stable at home with another villager while sending 4 villagers forward. It's kind of weird to do that because I went on like 18 pop up to try to go fast enough to pressure this. But it's just kind of a chain reaction. I get the tower up sooner, meaning I can mine the stone sooner and get a second tower up sooner. And I could maybe even take control of this woodline area without needing to let him get that tower up first. Like, try to keep building towers while he's spending the stone on the TC. And before he gets the market up. Now here come the Step Lancers, which we know are really strong. Already has +1 armor on them. And let's just give a good zoom out. That. And here I am trying to wall, and what I don't notice is that there's actually a hole between this wall and the blacksmith. That little light part, I think that's part of the blacksmith, but it's not actually on the blacksmith foundation, so that threw me off because I thought that was walled all the way to the blacksmith, but it's not. And like it's weird, you can see how the actual graphics for the building go past the selection box where their foundation is. And I'm just trying to quick wall as he spams more stuff in my base, and now it's over. Yeah, I need to delete some farms to wall to the TC. Or to wall completely in front of the TC. And also wall over here. But yeah, he's just way too far ahead. And there I'm going to call GG. So, Cumans, I still have no idea how to deal with that second TC. So I guess towers are not an option because he can build the counter tower in a place that's he can easily defend. I guess if I'm building that tower to hit that lumber camp, I actually need to start it further out here, so that if we do get into a tower fight, that way I can at least rush his tower with villagers. I guess the other thing is finding a way to get that dock up sooner to get the fire galley out. I don't know how that would be possible with such a low economy, but I can't just like let him sit back and boom on 2 TCs and try to match that. I have to go aggressive and try to make something happen. But anyway, let's look at the, I don't know if quick aim leads me to the stats, so we'll look at the stats and we'll just see how much better he is at literally everything except for stone collected. So he was just able to use the market for that because of all that gold he collected. Wow. 30 villagers ahead. So, alright, hope you guys enjoyed that. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.